This is not on September 11th, so I'm saying, yeah, please, if you could check, because I want to invite much dignitaries. Next year's reading going to be 25th.
Yeah, okay. Well, I see one for the proclamations meeting. I don't know if it's the same one or not. I'm sorry? Oh, no, I'm talking about for Zoom.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Fine, that always works. Always works. Oh, that, now you're in trouble after that. No.
Madam Clerk, if you could please look into it, because with the variance hearing, at least we go through the instructions and we go through the presentation and questions before we get to public comment. So that provides a little bit of time. If you could please take a look for the Zoom information for the variance hearing. All right, so we'll call to order our variance hearing special commission meeting for Wednesday, September 3rd, 2025 at 5 p.m. We have two applicants on the agenda for this evening. Do we have both? Yes and yes. Okay. Looks like we got everybody here. Are you expecting anyone else from either application before we get started? No? Seeing none? No? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure everybody has everybody they need here and present before we go forward. Okay.
Mr. Mayor, let me do a roll call, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, please go ahead.
Mayor Groff,
Here.
Vice Mayor Samara,
Here.
Commissioner Amsler,
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez is absent, and Commissioner Huntington.
Here.
You have a quorum, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Clerk. So our variance hearing is a quasi judicial procedure, and I have some standard instructions that I will read on the record before we begin. Mr. Vinograd, we have your application up first. That's just in the order that is being presented to us. So we'll begin with yours after I run through our instructions. Okay. So the Village Commission is about to commence a quasi judicial hearing. The hearing will be conducted by the Village Commission, which will hear testimony from the applicant and the public. The clerk will swear in the applicant and all witnesses before they speak. Each person who speaks should state their name, address, and whether they have been sworn in. The materials attached to the commission's agenda will be considered as part of the record. After the applicant and any of his or her witnesses have testified and evidence presented, the hearing will be opened up to members of the public to speak in support or against the application for variance. The village commission may set reasonable time limits for the members of the public to speak. So at this time, I'll ask if the commission wishes to establish time limits for public speakers. I think what we've done in the past is just limit to our standard 3 minutes for public comment. Are we comfortable doing 3 minutes the same? Looks like we have consensus on that. Okay, so we will limit public speakers to our standard 3 minutes. And I'll continue with our procedures. If a member of the public chooses not to be sworn in, the village commission may consider that as a factor in evaluating the speaker's comments. After the members of the public speak, the applicant may make additional statements if he or she so desires. We will now move to a quasi-judicial disclosure. If any of the commission has any ex parte contacts that are not part of the record, those contacts should be disclosed at this time. So beginning with our first applicant for Mr. Vinograd, does any member of the commission have any disclosure that they'd like to make at this time?
No.
Yes, I happen to know him. He's a customer of mine, so I recused myself at the last time, so I have to recuse myself again.
Okay.
No.
And I have no others. No other disclosures to comment on at this time. Okay, and how about for our second application, the Rutkin property? Are there any disclosures we'd like to make from the commission at this time?
I had a phone call with the applicant this afternoon.
Okay.
I have none.
With the second case?
Yes, correct.
Yes, I did a site visit on March 11th.
Okay. And I will disclose that I have spoken with both applicants, I think twice. Once after the original application was continued, and once since then. And I did have a brief conversation with an attorney who had called me. I apologize, I forget his name. What was it? David Templer. Yes, sounds correct. The conversation was very simple. He just asked for some background information and some information about the application. And I provided him a copy of the application that we had before us, and that was the extent of our discussions. And I didn't hear from him again. So that is the extent of the disclosures for both of our variance applications for this evening. So I'll continue on with our procedures at this time. I must remind my fellow commissioners that our decision at the conclusion of the hearing must be based upon competent, substantial evidence related to the village's code of ordinances and not generalized opposition that is not based on fact. Once the matter is ready to be put to a vote, a motion to approve or deny should be brought by a moving commissioner. At this time, and again, Mr. Vinograd, am I pronouncing that correctly? Okay. Just want to make sure. Thank you. So, Mr. Vinograd, because we're starting with yours at this time, will you, Mr. Vinograd, and any witnesses in this matter, please stand and raise your right hand? You know what? I think we'll just do everyone. I apologize. We'll just do everyone at the same time. That makes more sense. I'm sorry. We're not hearing from them just yet.
Also, any members of the public.
Yes. Sorry, members of the public. Thank you. Thank you, Brad.
Do you swear that the testimony that you're about to give on this item is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God, and your answer is? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay. So, Mr. Vinograd, will you please come to the podium? Just please state for us your name and address for the record. And at this time, present any testimony or other evidence that you'd like to offer in support of the application. That's fine. Yeah. Sorry, one second. I know the vice mayor is recusing himself just based on a personal relationship. It doesn't sound like it. I think the manager has an update for us on the IT things coming up in our regular commission meeting. There we go.
Hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. So the last hearing of variance that I was here, I was requested to provide with evidence to the whereabouts of the septic tank.
Yes.
Which I have sent. I forwarded Madam Clerk a little earlier today, videos of the whole property and where the septic tank is, and the all the drain field and the driveway. and the constricted area between the driveway and where the house is of the, I would say the west part of the property. And then Mr. Commissioner Huntington brought up a valid point. Why wouldn't I put the pool in the south part of the property? And I brought in videos and pictures, first showing that this is where we have the driveway, where we park the car by the kitchen, and then that it floods on a regular basis. It gets flooded to the point where it goes like about 4 inches up in water over there. So if I put a pool there, it'll be detrimental to me and to the environment in general, because the house next door also floods. So it's a whole area that's not elevated, and it gets like a lake. So I brought videos to that effect to show you if you're interested in seeing, but I don't know how am I going to be able to present those videos. I sent them to Madam Clerk via email, and I have them on WhatsApp. If I sent them to myself on WhatsApp, those emails were actually sent to a courier named Maya, and she originally submitted this as an application to the PNZ when it was for a permit, and then it was resubmitted again when I was requested to apply for a variance. So, and that happened in July of 2000, and sorry, the variance was July of 2023. Those videos were taken in March of 2023 and submitted to the city then. Also, with my pool permit, I submitted architectural plans and a survey as required by any permit, and the survey shows where the septic tank and the drain field's at. Original to the property. I have never moved it or changed it. You know, it's a big ordeal to change the whole septic tank and the drain field, and it's in the back of the property. So that is it basically. Would you like to see the videos? Should I show them to you?
Well, did you? Let me just do this first.
Yes.
Is there anyone else or any witnesses or anything that you brought with you, or
No, not today.
Okay.
I was relying on the fact that you've asked me to submit evidence of these 2 items, and I brought them. So I thought that should be sufficient.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we had a full understanding of what you wanted to explain to us based on the fact that we had deferred the application for the first time to today.
Right. Mr. Huntington opposed to give me the variance because he said that I can either put it in the back or in the south of the property. And so I, brought these videos specifically for him to see, how it floods and, the visual of it, because, I can't expect you guys to come and visit me or anything like that.
Okay. If that's the entirety of your presentation to us, our next step would be asking the commission if they have questions for you while you're still at the podium.
Sure.
Okay. So why don't we go ahead and start with that? At this time, do any members of the commission have any questions for the applicant?
I'm just trying to understand that I have all the materials that you wish for us to see in order to make a vote today. So I don't know what videos you're referring to. I'm looking at the agenda right now. I have your application where it's being requested to put a pool.
Mhm.
And the PNC board decided that you have other areas that are available to you to do that beyond your request. And the recommendation is not to follow through because of our code specifically says that. That's the only thing I have with their feedback. I don't have any other videos that would go with it.
Madam Clerk, do you have?
We just got one sent here, but they're not. Before you the email. They're not available for placement.
Are you able to screen share so the applicant can kind of walk us through the information that he'd like us to consider?
Also need to be made part and parcel of the record as well.
Okay.
Can I screen share those? I mean, I have them all available pretty much so that I don't hold everybody up.
You have them on a.
I have them either on WhatsApp or the emails that I sent you. I can open them up. I can show them on my computer as well if you like. Yeah,
If I could ask a procedural question,
Sure.
when were these sent to the village?
actually, the first time we sent them was sometimes around March or April of 2023,
Well,
and they were lost.
we didn't have them, but when we requested them for this variance hearing, you sent them again?
I sent them again. In July of 2023, there was a scheduled meeting for a variance on the 3rd of July by the PNZ that was canceled because I guess it was the day before the 4th of July of 2023. And actually, I came flying back for that meeting. And when I came to the city, Matt Kennedy told me that it's not going to be held. And I wasn't informed of another meeting afterwards. I paid for that variance hearing. I put in the application fee for the variance and it never took place. And then, it just kept on being ever since.
This time, you sent them today, you said, or?
I sent them earlier today. I sent all the videos. Actually, I forwarded the emails that were sent to the courier on the 23rd of July.
So my procedural question, just to be fair, is there a deadline to which you have to submit the evidence to make it part of public record? So that way the public has a chance to see this as well, if this is part of the application and it's evidence that we have to consider? Is there a deadline? Should that have been submitted prior to this meeting so it could be on the agenda?
Brad, is there a deadline?
There is no deadline in your code.
So okay, just wanted to clear that up. Okay. And, long I'm asking the question again, could you, if we can't get them, could you describe what's on this video? Is that, like, if there's,
So if I can show them, I will show them.
yeah, so let's see if we can see them first.
I'm sorry? Okay. If not, I will.
I understand that and I appreciate that. In fairness to you, into your application, I'd like us, if we are able to see them, I'd like to be able to see them while we're considering it.
Is there a way to get internet here?
I think this is the flooding that you're showing us here. Yeah, Brad,
The whole commission has to see what it is that, but I'm saying that the mayor's asking questions that you're giving answers to that the rest of the commission can't.
it would really, yeah, I mean, I would really prefer that we have this up on the screen.
I know you want to move forward, but the record's got to be.
Yeah, I understand that.
Second variance at this time, before we get this straightened out.
Madam Clerk, do we have any idea how long it might take for us to be able to see this up on the screen so that everyone is able to see what we're talking about? Because we're approaching 5:30. Okay. Well, then why don't we do that? Why don't we move to the second variance application now? Try to sort this out, and if we can't do it now, then we'll defer to give you an opportunity to present all of this information. Well, generally, I would think that if we had access to the email, that it would be sufficient, but let's see if we can get a solution in the meantime. Okay. 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 Do we know where the vice mayor? Well, I'm just trying to be cognizant of our next meeting, knowing we have another variance application that we need to go through. Do we know where he's standing? Thanks, Gary. Nope. So we're having some technical issues for the first variance application. So what we're going to do is we're going to table that one for now while we try to work on those. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the second one. Okay. Brad, just a point of order. Do I need to run through the whole script again, or can I just start with the,
No, you can just start with.
okay, just making sure. Thank you. Okay, so the time limits that we established at the beginning of the hearing will still be applicable here. Are we recording live?
to address some of these concerns. None of them are going to fully address them because, again, everyone in the village deals with traffic, deals with porch theft, deals with the concerns about their children's safety. So we understand that, and that's just, I'm sorry,
Right.
unfortunately, part of living in an urban community. But we did think there were some other things that they could do that if they felt they were unique to their property, that maybe they could, try to redress that way.
And did you make those suggestions to them?
Yeah, I believe the board chair that evening suggested some of those
Because
things.
I just think that you didn't present everything to the board that you should have presented. So I just, okay, that's the questions that I wanted.
And with
to
that
know.
being said, we only make recommendations to you.
No.
You're the decision maker, so they're
Yeah.
presenting additional information tonight.
I just wanted to
potentially.
know if
It's
there
up
was
to you
any
to make that
recommendations that you
yeah.
minimum for them to.
Yeah, I do
accomplish.
believe some of those things were
Okay,
discussed.
thank you.
Yeah.
I just have one question for
Yeah.
you. Some of the things we already covered, and I want to move along because Commissioner alerted me to the fact that we're after 6 o'clock. Do your recollection, you mentioned already the train turnaround, I don't believe was presented at the time that the board made their decision.
No.
There were a few other things that were mentioned here this evening. Cement blocks in the front, a signage asking people not to turn around. Do you recall whether that was presented to the board during the application process?
I don't
putting you on the
recall. I don't
spot, so I
believe so, but I
apologize.
don't recall whether the cement blocks were discussed or even the slow traffic flashing light sign was discussed that evening. What I recall was discussing the country day traffic.
Do you recall whether there was knowledge, whether the board had knowledge at the time of the crosswalk that's going to be installed by the county?
I don't recall. I did not personally, so I don't believe it was discussed that evening. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, my pleasure.
Commissioner?
I just want one question. Thank you so much for being here. How many of this requests for variances or requests for a fence do you normally get on a monthly basis? Yeah.
Can you give the mic a tap? It sounds like it's off. I think we have the only mic on the planet that eats batteries faster than every other one.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It does. Thank you.
Sorry. The new IT issue that's coming up here is just shortly cannot come fast enough. Only John Holland were here.
So, Mr. Mayor, if I may, just while they're working on the
Please.
technical,
Yeah.
I know Commissioner Amsler asked a question regarding other variances that may have been presented to the board
Other requests?
and other requests and applications for variances.
Yep.
This request needs to stand on its own. You can't not accept or deny the request based on what you've done in the past or what the board has done in the past. So just so that's clear and so the record's clear.
Understood. Thank you for providing that, Brad.
Hi,
Barbara.
Barbara Kuehl, 777 Northeast 111th Street. And yes, we've had 2 break-ins. Yes, we live in a corner lot. We moved in with 3 kids under 7. We had all the problems that everybody else in the community with kids, a house have. And yes, we have people parking on our swale to make a phone call. And actually, I don't mind it. That's a neighborhood. And I agree with everything that Edward said, that everybody deals with these problems, and you cannot change, give variances because somebody feels they have an issue. The thing with a dog, our son also was attacked on Griffin because a neighbor's dog ran out into the street and bit him on the legs. So the dog should be on leashes. Dogs should not be in the front yard running loose. Children should be watched by their parents or put in the backyard like ours were. You know, I see that they have a big fence, a big hedge, which is a good thing to, and we also have had a car go into our yard, and it went into a tree because we have landscaping. They have bushes, which would prevent cars from probably going far into the yard. We did that when we moved in with 3 little kids. So everybody in this village would probably want to do something like that to make their house feel safer. But the community, when they were doing the code for fences in the front yard, they decided to give people extra allowances if they had a narrow backyard to extend the front yard, the fence from the backyard into the front yard a little. Now, they've got 11,000 square feet. That is a huge yard. I've got 10,000 square feet and I've got a big yard. So there's ample room in the backyard to fence it in, spend time in your backyard, and not worry about having your kids in the front yard. As far as the traffic, you know, you move to a busy street. Griffin, I've lived here for a long time. Griffin has always been a busy street. It's a major throughway. It's gotten more busy. My street's gotten more busy. When I first moved in, my kids used to ride their bikes down the street. Now they couldn't do that. So everybody's dealing with the same thing. The problem with one fence in the front yard is it may be very attractive when you have one fence, but when you have an entire row of houses with a different fence, and across the street is another row of houses with different fences, it looks like North Miami looks. If you go down Griffin, it's a hodgepodge. Aesthetically, when they say it's not detrimental to the community, aesthetically, it is detrimental. That's what this village didn't want. They didn't want a fenced-in, unfriendly look that looks like we're trying to keep people out. We wanted more open front yards. So that's why I'm opposed to this variance. Thank you.
Before I even get started, I'd like to ask the simple question. We're now discussing something that wasn't presented to the design review board, as I understand it. So I don't even see how a decision tonight is valid in any case. Am I wrong?
Something I was actually planning on asking the attorney when we.
So
get to
I mean, I don't want to launch in another 3 minutes and for no reason. I mean, I am opposed to the variance vehemently, but should I waste my time? Yes, waste my time, according to the attorney. Well, it won't be a waste of time then. All right. Okay. Rather than reiterate a lot of what's been said, I would say I disagree with one point that Edward made, is that it's not detrimental to the neighborhood. It is. Fences create a barrier. Fences create a sense of isolation. They create a sense of unfriendliness. Gates do this as well. So yes, it does, and this is my opinion, this is reading that I've done, it does have a negative impact. They've been in the property for 5 years. They've experienced as much, if not all, of the situation that they're in now. So this is something they intentionally accepted. Okay, the fact that they had a child, well, you know, as Barbara said, we had 3 kids. We had traffic too. It's how you manage your household, how you manage your pets. Okay, there is nothing unique about this property. I strongly urge you to support your board and their decision. This isn't about your opinion, your unique viewpoint, or your unique idea. It's about an ordinance, as Barbara said, and I'll underscore, was written by the Code Review Board with neighborhood involvement. It went to the commission. There was more neighborhood involvement, and people resoundingly do not want front yard fences or gates in the front yard. They want an open, friendly community. Thank you.
Any others in the log cabin? Seeing none? We had an email. Yes, that's what I was moving on to. Okay. Madam Clerk, if you could please read it to the record.
From Janie Anderson, 11905 Northeast 11th Place. As I am unable to attend the variance hearing, I respectfully ask that this email be read into the record at the hearing. Please confirm receipt and that it will be read into the record. Variances are meant to address unusual or extenuating circumstances. They are not meant as workarounds of our ordinances. While they may not set a legal precedent, they certainly set one psychologically for those wanting the same thing. Yes, 107th Street is busy. It is obviously busy in 2020. It was obviously busy in 2020, yet the petitioners purchased the property. This is not some hidden surprise they would have just come to realize. 6th Avenue is significantly busier. Griffin and 121 are also very busy, hence nothing unique about this property. We are all empathetic to keeping kids and pets safe, but they will always be safer in backyards. It's not like cars can't drive through fences. This property has a significant backyard area. The front of this property is primarily a large circular drive and walkway with a large privacy hedge, then grass that abuts the street. That would hardly seem like a play area even if fenced. Items being stolen off the front porch is certainly not unique to this property. It's a universal issue. If fences prevented crime, there'd be no crime in gated communities. With a fence, unless it is left unlocked, deliveries would be left outside of the fence, closer to the street and easier to steal. If you approve this variance, you surely know you're opening the door to dozens more. It won't be long before we look just like our neighbors to the north. Take a look at the properties on 125th Street as you go toward I-95, because it's exactly what we will look like. Don't say that's a code issue. Your job is to make the tough decisions, not to make the convenient, emotion-based ones, and then expect code to deal with the consequences. You have a responsibility to this village as a whole, more so than individual property owners. You have a responsibility to look at this long, big picture and very real potential negative consequences. That's why you need to deny this variance. Janie Anderson, 11905 Northeast 11th Place.
All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. I don't believe we have any other public comment at this time. So before we begin our discussions and deliberations, is there anything further that the applicants would like to present to the commission? Okay.
Thank you. As everyone knows, we are residents. We are not.
State your name.
Deborah Larkin-Riston, mother of Caitlin, mother-in-law of Ryan, grandmother of Ryder. I think it's important to note that we are not in the business. We are residents, or my daughter is a resident. She is not involved with arguing or stating or talking about the history of Biscayne Park, et cetera, et cetera. The fact that I would like to state that I believe this is, I forget the term, an extenuating circumstance from the time that they purchased this home until now. And that is, this is 107th. This is not Griffin Road with a meridian. One of the things that I enjoy is walking my grandson around in Biscayne Park. And there are many, many lovely streets with meridians. They're lovely. This one, 107th, from this traffic light to the train, I don't know how many homes that is, maybe 6, 7. This is unique. On this particular street, the traffic is worse. The passing of cars, they pass cars on a single lane. They don't do that if there's a meridian. So this is unique circumstance for the few homes that live on 107th on the outside of Biscayne Park. Thank you.
Okay. So having no more public comment or anything more from the applicants at this time, we'll be closing public comment and we'll be moving into commission discussion and deliberations. So before we begin our discussion and deliberations, please allow me to remind the members of the commission that the record must contain competent, substantial evidence which has been presented during the course of this hearing. Competent, substantial evidence is such evidence as will establish a substantial basis of fact from which your findings can be reasonably inferred. It is such relevant evidence as a reasonable mind would accept as adequate to support the conclusion. Competent substantial evidence includes expert testimony and fact-based comments of neighbors and laypersons. It does not include conjecture, speculation, or generalized statements in support or opposition of the matter. We will now begin our deliberations, which will result in a motion and vote on the matter. Before we begin on that point, Brad, can I just ask the question of something that's come up? We had an application in front of the P&Z board with certain details about the request for the variance that was denied. And it sounds as if, at least my understanding is that there are several issues with respect to the request that are different. Not just from a design perspective, but maybe some things that may not have been presented to the P&Z board at the time. How does that affect our determination, what's before us tonight?
It doesn't. So the ultimate decision, the board makes a recommendation based on the information they have. If there's additional information, or if there's, let's say, concessions that were made between the finding of the board or the recommendation of the board, excuse me, and what the applicant decides to present to this commission in presiding over the variance, that's something that this commission can consider and determine. However, so it doesn't not affect moving forward tonight if that's what the decision is of the commission, to move forward with your deliberations and to a conclusion. However, I will state that if you feel you need further recommendation from the board, you can certainly defer the matter and ask the board to consider this new information and provide an updated recommendation if that's what the commission so desires.
Okay. All right. I think that's clear to me. Is there anything anyone wants to discuss with respect to the variances in front of us and the information we just heard from the attorney?
No, that's the only context I wanted, is whether or not we could move forward with this change in application, but I'm ready to deliberate and make my feeling on this at this point.
Okay.
My only two comments was that I don't believe everything that was presented to the board, and I think that's one of the mistakes that you made, is you didn't present everything that you presented tonight to the board, because you submitted a fence, chain link fence in the graphs, and that's not what you're describing tonight. I don't know if that would have made a difference. That's why I asked him if that would have made a difference. But we have a four criteria that you must meet. If you only meet 3, I think it gets voted down. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Has to be all 4 criteria, right? Has to be all 4. Yeah, it's 4 criteria. You have to match all 4 criteria. And according to what you presented, it doesn't match the 4th criteria, because that's what you presented to the board. I think you would have did a better job presenting more information. I don't know if you can redo it. I don't know what the process is. Whether or not you can re-present it to the board. I don't know if that would have made a difference. That's why I asked. Yes, sure.
Well,
As a board, we often
well,
advise.
sorry,
representatives-
before we do that.
Yeah.
We're
Procedurally,
Right.
if you wanted to do that
we have to
procedurally,
reopen that.
a motion to reopen public comment. And if
Right.
there's a consensus to reopen, then the gentleman could speak.
I'll make a motion to reopen public comment.
I'll second it because I want to hear the.
And I would also advise that once I'm sorry, I forgot your name, but once he makes his comment, if you give the applicant a chance to respond as well.
All right, well, I'd just like the commission to understand it's 6:30. So let's please try to make this quick. All in favor on the motion that
I-
reopen the public comment?
I just want to hear the response.
We need a vote on the motion. Yes?
Second.
All right, that's a
Yeah, I
consensus.
just
Go ahead.
wanted to say quickly that as a board, when someone comes before us, make a recommendation, we often advise them before they come to you to consider our input and feel free to change their application before they see you because you're the decision maker. So if what we saw is not what they're presenting tonight, it's irrelevant. We often advise them, consider what we said, maybe make some changes, maybe reduce this, change, whatever it is, so that they can make their case to you. So it's not unusual that they might present to you something different than what we heard. That's not unusual.
Okay. Before we go forward to the attorney's point, does the applicants wish to comment on that one public comment that we, no? Okay. All right, so we'll reclose the comment and continue on with our commission discussion and deliberations. Go ahead.
Thank you. So as far as that, you didn't meet the 4 points of the criteria, which is the most important thing. You have to meet that. And well, but you didn't. According to what the board is they know what they're doing and they didn't meet you didn't meet the 4 criteria. So for that reason, I can't support it, but
I understand. Okay, any other discussion points from the commission?
No, I'll just say, concur with Commissioner Samaria. For me, it's a no on all 4. I don't see it's meeting the criteria. I fully respect your need to provide safety for your family, and I sympathize with you. As a father of 3, I completely sympathize with the safety of family and children, but our charter is very strict on how we deal with variances, and it has to be a yes to all 4. And for me, it's a no to all 4. So it would be a no for me.
You gonna add, Commissioner?
So for me, I think you have like 3 yeses. I was there when I did the site visit and we all almost got hit by a car. So I was the first witness to this event myself, because when you were showing me where the fence was planning to be placed, a car came in opposite direction heading towards Aldi and literally swirled us and missed us by inches. So I completely see that you have very particular circumstances. That curve is really blind. I live around the corner, so I experience it every day. I do not agree with point 4 that you've met the minimum variance, which makes possible the reasonable use of the property. I think there's other ways that you can maybe close one end and use it. Right now, it's all highlighted as a driveway. So I think that could have been addressed differently. And therefore, I don't have a 4. So it will be a no.
Okay.
Again, sympathize completely, but we have to be fair. This is really hard from this standpoint. I want you to understand that, having kids and being in the same circumstances, but it is really, I think there's more to do with what you have in front to try to minimize the variance that you're requesting. There may be other opportunities to design to be considered.
Thanks, Commissioner. So I think that, I think that the questions I asked were kind of focusing on what I saw as special circumstances. That I think that over the last several years, we have more trains, and to hear that, a driveway is being used for turnaround is certainly something that makes me, gives me some pause and gives me concern. So that's something that I think about. And then the crosswalk is the direct result of traffic data that the county's provided to us, that we borrowed, that they used to justify the crosswalk there. So I understand that road is certainly subject to much higher traffic, and the turnaround certainly is a concern for me. But I understand it sounds already like there's a majority vote on it. So while I might be the one outlier on that, I understand that. So I don't really have anything else to say. And I would just ask the commission if there's a motion at this time.
Motion to deny the variance request.
Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second it.
Okay, do we need a roll, or is this just by voice vote? Voice vote, okay. All in favor of the motion that's being presented?
Yes.
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 And my only reason would be no is because I think there's some information that the P and Z had yet to consider. So I hope that they will, and maybe update a recommendation. But the variance is denied on the motion 3-1. All right, so everyone, we have 6:30. Our other variance application Mr. Vinograd? So, Mr. Vinograd, I hate to do this to you right now. We're very far over.
I totally understand. And
what-
actually, I don't think I mean, the last time I came to the city, I requested for them to tell me when was the variance, the next hearing. And it was very soon after when I walked into the city and requested to be a part of the next hearing. And I don't think that I've really prepared a complete, picture of everything to really come and bring before you, why do I have such a big property and why is it so problematic for me to put a pool in the back or on the side of the south? So deferring it, it'll be great for me.
So you jumped out ahead of what I was going to recommend at this point, especially because we have some additional information that I
That's
think the
no
commission
problem.
needs to see in enough time before the hearing, so we are prepared when we get here to ask you questions about that.
Perfect.
And
I'll come to the city and ask when is the next variance hearing that you're going to conduct, and I'll prepare.
And if we can make certain to please try to provide that to us with enough time for the commission to review it, that would be very helpful. Just so we don't find ourselves in.
I will I will correct what was done wrong this time. for sure.
Understood. Mr. Vinograd, I appreciate your understanding. So is there a motion to defer the variance request for Mr. Vinograd?
I make a motion to defer.
Is there a second?
A second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So we'll defer and you'll come back to us with some additional information. Mr. Vinograd, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, so our